Well, folks, here we are again on Friday morning. This turned out to be a very warm week with several days of records set across the state early in the week as we breached the 80-degree mark. As we go forward, we do have a rather large storm system moving into the western United States that is going to give us a fairly decent shot of possibly seeing some severe weather, particularly in central Nebraska, as we move into the early part of the week. Outside of that, the major concern at this point in time is this rapid warm-up is really starting to get things firing up in terms of growth. We're starting to see trees break dormancy. I would be very, very nervous and if you have any fruit crops out there, because we're now going to have to go essentially frost-free for the remainder of the spring in order to safely ensure that we do get proper pollination. And of course, the other thing we're worried about is in southern Kansas, the wheat crop has now reached a joining stage, and a big Arctic outbreak anytime in the next few weeks could cause some significant damage to the wheat crop. Do we have any cold air in the forecast? Well, let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we have in store as we move through this next 7-day period. And as we go to the upper air models, what we're going to notice is we're pretty much dominant with high pressure aloft in the southeast, and we have a monstrous trough that's going to rapidly move into the western United States. But for the next few days, we're really not going to be dealing with much in the way of any precipitation chances outside extreme southeastern Nebraska, as there may be some moisture pooling up with a little stationary frontal boundary at the surface that may generate some thunderstorm activity. But overall, fairly dry forecast. We're looking at probably upper 70s to low 80s, pretty consistent with the last few days. And as we go into tomorrow, we are going to notice that the ridge does shift a little bit farther east. The trough starts to dig down. But again, the southwest flow in the upper atmospheres and the southerly flow from the south is probably going to keep us well into the upper 70s to low 80s. And again, chance of isolated thunderstorm activity over the overnight hours in southeast Nebraska. And as we get into Sunday, now we see this trough starting to pivot closer toward the southern plains. And so we're still going to see a fairly decent moisture fetch and very warm temperatures once again on Sunday. Highs in the upper 70s to low 80s, and we might start to see some thunderstorms moving in late Sunday into portions of southern Nebraska, carrying on into Monday. But the real action starts to begin as we get into Monday, as we see this deep trough and a big parallel fetch where if we do get thunderstorm development, we're going to see it training over the same area. So there's the potential for some significant severe weather, particularly Monday afternoon, moving out into western Kansas, western Oklahoma. That may cut some of this moisture off, but overall we do see an increasing chance for thunderstorm activity from west to east. And as we get into Tuesday, this is where we expect the biggest chance for severe weather. We may see a very significant outbreak Kansas southward, and if it gets going, it may rob some of the moisture in Nebraska, but we do have the chance for severe thunderstorms developing in central Nebraska, rapidly moving eastward. And as we go into Wednesday, this low cuts off, and this is going to be the trick where it goes, and that may determine our forecast. Well, right now it's indicated it's going to move up towards southeast Nebraska, so it's going to drop our temperatures in the mid-50s to the east, to the low 60s across the west, and on Thursday that low starts to pivot toward the Great Lakes, so there's a chance of shower activity. And as we get to the 8 to 14-day forecast, we see a return to the warmth, and in terms of precipitation, a drier pattern starts to move in as we go into next weekend.